What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Quest for 18 podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alan. With both my Jake in a bit, and also we have Earl on the side as he set this stuff up. But yeah, if any questions, hot takes, or opinions, feel free to drop in this chat or many other chats or on Twitter, X, YouTube. As always, drop a follow. Join this playoff LAL community. It is a great community who we were fans of basketball, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers. But as always, we have fun, we joke around, and we just try to entertain everybody. You say so. Yeah, as always, join us for our stream tonight, later versus the LA Clippers live here. And yeah, these both Earl and Jake. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, boys? I'm doing great on this fine Sunday afternoon. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Great way to end our weekend. Wonderful football day, and then we get the rivalry game of Lakers Clippers tonight, which, as Alan mentioned, we will be live for that as well later today. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I feel like we have some interesting topics to talk about. And this will be kind of a shorter show compared to our other ones due to, we have some peak football going on tonight that all of us want to kind of check out. I know everyone in the chat does too. So, yeah, I'm doing good. How about you, Jake?
I mean, what a weekend, boys, for sports in general. You got college basketball is in full swing. NBA, with the Cavs and the Thunder, teams like that. Couple good games recently. Lakers Clippers, of course, which we'll get to. It's the first Lakers Clippers game of the season. In my opinion, it normally ends up being the best rivalry in the NBA for regular season games. We never played them in the playoffs, but regular season, it's either Lakers Warriors or Lakers Clippers. You're always going to get some good games there. Historically, especially since, LeBron came over, Kawhi came over, Lakers Clippers games are great. Then you have, NFL right now. I got Rams Eagles on right now. Unfortunately, for any Rams fans, I guess I'm a Rams fan. I took a little hiatus from the team because they rejected me for a job that I applied to this summer. So I had to take, I had a grain of salt type of situation there. But, at the end of the day, I'm going to root for LA, of course. Stafford just fumbled. The Eagles are up 19-15 as I see it right now. Crazy kind of snow game here, but looks like Rams could get the ball back, have a chance to go up with the touchdown. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. Shout out to LA Rams, though. They've been putting on for the city, especially since the Fire's great win in the last round. And then, of course, among Chiefs Texans yesterday, Commanders upset over the 15-2 Lions yesterday. And later today, as Earl was talking about earlier, later today you get the Bills Ravens, which is the game of the year so far. But I think Chiefs Bills or Chiefs Ravens will end up being maybe the best game we see all year next weekend. So sports are in a great place, and I'm glad we get to end it with Lakers Clippers tonight. And the weekend, I should say. Well, it is a long weekend. Happy Martin Luther King Day to those who celebrate tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, like I said, this will be a short week, so a short podcast. We'll go through our topics, at least for this one. We're going to recap the Lakers versus Nets victory, of course, D'Lo's return. We'll give a short preview, as the small one. I know that, of course, Clutch 23 will be joining, of course, our host here, and a couple of other hosts will be hosting a preview for that game around like 40 to 50 minutes before the game. Around like 6 o'clock for the LA Clippers game, so tune in for that. Like I said, we'll give a short preview for today, at least for this one. But of course, if you want a long / extensive review / other stuff, tune to Clutch23 on Twitter. He'll be hosting a space before that Clippers game tonight. And then one of our big topics that will be a little short / fun will be we're going to debate what is the best current Lakers duo right now, LeBron James and Austin Reaves, or Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Because I kind of want to bring that up to we kind of look at that Nets game, which we'll go into right now, that LeBron James and Austin Reaves, I don't know if you saw that stat, like they were the leading scorers for that Lakers roster. Like, I think it was like 55 points at one time, and then the rest of the teams only had like 33. So we'll go into a debate about who is the current better Lakers duo, And then, of course, any of our chat topics or anyone else who have any questions that will go into that. As I said, we will prioritize any questions from outside chat. So
shout out Alan. Also, Alan, just shout out Lakers Land in the chat because Lakers Land is working with us on figuring something out great for Playoff LAL here. He does a lot of really great things, and he told me he was a fan of Quester 18, so shout out Lakers Land.
For sure. Yeah. Shout out Lakers Land. As always, give our support. If you haven't followed them, follow them on Twitter, X, YouTube, etc. At Lakers Land, of course, Lakers Land. Feel free to drop your ads, social medias, and like I said, as always, make sure to follow those. And like I said, going back to that Nets game, I said it was D'Lo's return. Excellent game from Austin Reaves on LeBron James. And if you guys, what your main takeaways from that matchup?
Main takeaway? Reaves is him. No, okay, here's a funny takeaway. Why is it so hard for our players to get to that 40-point mark? Remember when Anthony Davis, he missed those free throws and he couldn't finish those couple of shots to get 40? Austin Reaves missed like 4 shots in a row hunting for that 40. I don't know what it is, but we're kind of, I don't want to say we're capped out at 40, but recently when it comes to games like that, it just seems comical how we're not able to cross that threshold. But that game, I mean, I'll call it what it is. It was a fun game. I think we all talked about it. We were live. When you can't really put into perspective like, hey, well, you can, but it makes it less fun. We understand we're playing the Nets. We understand it sucks this year team only win by 1. But when we put into perspective on the things we talk about, how Anthony Davis is our best player, I mean, that's true. Defensively, we looked horrible. And that's because we didn't have our defensive core at all. We didn't have Dorian Finney-Smith to guard any perimeter defense, which looked horrible the whole night. But even a game like that, we had Austin Reaves and LeBron James kind of playing off each other, and Reaves just taking over. Like we've seen it before. We've seen it in the playoffs. His first year in the playoffs, he was able to kind of take over more so in that Warriors series. He did really good. And he just has this ability to not only create shots for himself, but a lot of shots for other people too. So I think Austin Reaves, I don't know, he's just great to watch. He has a fun game. Like, I don't know, some games we talk about how he's not aggressive enough or he's not consistent, but when he's on, like he's on. Like he can pretty much score from anywhere, 3-level scorer. So shout out to Reaves. I think that was the best part of the game. Fun to watch. And oh my God, the narrative of D'Lo hit that shot. It would have been a storybook ending for him. So shout out D'Lo too. I know he gets a lot of hate, but he's cool. Have fun in Brooklyn though.
Man, since we started like watching games together this season on this playback right here, like it's hard to look at a close game and complain because I don't understand. There's no world where we would want to blow out the Nets by 40 and sit through the end of that. I understand, like, we want the team to do as well as possible, but this Lakers team is inconsistent. And to beat a Nets team that was depleted by 1 on the surface, like, yeah, it kind of sucks. But if you were here with us, you could understand, like, we were having a great time. I mean, shout out Playback and Unlucky Dreamer. They posted us a bunch of times. They've been doing good work to help promote our room there. And just the vibe, like, it was a good vibe. Austin Reaves going off for that one stretch was great. I just thought it was also worth mentioning, and this isn't like a shot at Reaves or anything, but I do think it's worth mentioning that weirdly, like when he was at, I want to say it was 38 that he finished with, he missed 4 to 5 shots in the clutch pretty much in a row. Maybe not all in a row, but pretty much. Some people on X were saying that Reaves almost cost the game, and I completely disagree with that because we're only like there with Austin Reaves having 38. But at the same time, he could have been close to 50 if he was hitting all those shots in the end. So I do think that was interesting. Either way, it was his career high at 38. But it was a really good time watching with you guys. I also just think like it being close and the fact that we knew D'Lo was going to go off to some degree. He's going to hit his shots. But like the fact that it was D'Lo with the time running down, it kind of was cinema in a way, and it worked out well for us. If he hits that shot, I don't think we would be feeling great about the Lakers because the difference between a win and a loss was, 2 points technically, with the 1 point win. At the same time, like to see a W in the win column when you look back, that's something that you're not going to complain in March that game was too close because you see the win. But if we lose by 1, it's like that's a huge missed opportunity. But I agree with Mal in the chat. Like, as a basketball fan, aside from being a Lakers fan, him hitting that shot is genuinely a really cool moment if he does. But as a Lakers fan, like, of course, I'm going to come out of it and be happy he didn't, and we're on the other side. Lakers Clippers, like I said, it's going to be great. It's always great. Quick update, 5 minutes, 30 seconds left in Rams Eagles. The Eagles kicked a field goal a few minutes ago, so the Rams are down 7. Heading down the field, it's 3rd down right now, so we'll see if they can tie it here.
Yeah, and to add into that fact, Jake, I think LeBron said something interesting too in the post game. They kept asking him how he felt about the win and how last win kind of carried on to this one. And basically he was saying, like, they don't. Like, every game is a different game. You don't know who's going to go off on a given night, and you have to treat pretty much every game with respect to the game. So I think it's just that case. Like, everybody wants a blowout. I get it. But the NBA is just talented, man. When you lose your star players, what do you think happens? Guys who get opportunities to get more minutes, they're going to show up. They're going to show out. They're going to be playing with purpose. So I almost think it's sometimes harder to play against teams who don't have their star players because you don't know who's going to go off. And shout out to Mal in the chat too. Like, credit to us on our shout out to our pregame, which we'll have tonight again. Shout out to Mark as well. People were laughing. Like, we were saying the starting line for the Nets, we were laughing, calling them trash and stuff like that. But I mean, Miles was right. He was naming those guys, and he pretty much told us exactly what's going to happen. Hey, this guy, boom, boom, is going to go off. They're going to play well because they have been playing good. And I think Lakers fans have to understand, like, we're not in a position like this team already. Like, we've been kind of lackluster this season. So expecting us to just blow out teams is not realistic in general. And then on top of that, you're missing Anthony Davis, the focal point of our defense once again. Without him, we already know our whole roster is a drop-off of defense. True reason we traded for DFS is because our defense is trash. And, yeah, I think people should just, like Jake said, you take every win and you just ride with it, man. Don't think too much on it. I appreciate them going and locking in. Shout out to D'Lo, too. I think it would have been a crazy story. Like, that would have been the headline of really the year. D'Lo comes back, beats the Lakers, the team who traded him away and say he was the problem. He is the game winner on Max Christie. So, I'm all for it. Really fun storyline, and I'm not really going into games like, oh, let's blow this team out. I just want to win. Like, at the end of the day, it's either going to be a green W or a red L, and I'd rather see a whole bunch of green W's in my column than the L's, regardless of the score.
Well, same here. I'll just add to that before we move on, though, briefly. Like, I don't want to make any excuses because we have to beat that Nets team by more than that, even without AD. But if you really think about it, like, it is kind of crazy that the Lakers defense is down AD, Vanderbilt, who's coming back soon, and Dorian Finney-Smith. So now we're talking our 3 best defenders. So when you see the other team hitting shots, I mean, 2 of those guys should be there, AD and Finney. Vando's coming back now anyway. Like, I can't evaluate the Lakers defense in good faith when now we're talking about, like, the 3 best defenders on the team aren't in the game. I think tonight they should be playing, right? Like, AD and Dorian, like, sure, Vando's not back yet, but we can't use Vando as an excuse. I just kind of feel like it's hard not to mention AD and Finney-Smith when we're talking about why our defense looked a certain way. You're going from the 23rd, 24th defense in the league with those guys, best case, to probably like 30th when you look at the defense last game. Just in terms of how good we are, we might be, maybe we're not worse than the Wizards, but we're at the bottom when you look at with no AD, no Dorian. So the offense, I don't understand. They got to fix that. But I can use those slight reasons of, why the defense may not look great. However, we did hold them to 101. So it's not horrible either. It was more our offense.
Yeah, I think I'll add to an answer that if we do get DFS and AD back, I do want to see the rest of the Lakers roster still hold their own. Like I said, looking at that rebound total, we got out rebound 45 to 34. Was it offensive rebound 12-6, defensive rebound 33-28, and of course 3-pointers. It was 17 slash 38, and they shot 44%. And we're playing I imagine a healthy Clippers team. Like that Clippers team is gonna hustle. Like they got Derrick Jones Jr. They have Norman Powell who's gonna hustle. Of course, they have Zubac, of course. So it's just like this Clippers team is no joke still. Like I said, we may joke around them. Like I said, they're our little brother. They're quote unquote a rivalry case sometimes, but it's just like our team has to step up versus the Clippers roster. And it's just looking at the Nets game, maybe that could be, like I said, a slow week or a slow day, but tonight they have to step up their game and they have to hustle. And like I said, I don't want to see the Clippers out rebound us. I don't want to see the Clippers get into a hot streak from the 3-point line, because the Clippers will destroy us if we allow what happened versus the Nets to happen tonight. Like I said, the Lakers got sort of lucky, you could say, versus the Nets, but tonight versus Clippers, they may not be lucky if they play how they played versus the Nets.
Yeah, it does look like the Rams lost here. I missed this last touchdown. I didn't really see what happened, but now the Eagles are up pretty much 2 scores here. Shout out the Rams though, because they still had a great season. I'm definitely curious what they'll do the next few years. I think they're so young and they have a good direction. You know, maybe besides finding someone to replace Stafford down the line, I think they have a great direction. So shout out the Rams. One of the LA basketball teams is going to win tonight, Lakers or Clippers. Hopefully it's the real LA basketball team. And Alan's right. As much as the Lakers own the Clippers all time, it's not even close. We have double the wins, 17 championships to 0. And then even like the head-to-head, we like double them up. I saw a bunch of numbers today. But I will say, like, that doesn't mean that you can just assume that you beat the Clippers. Like, their roster is constructed better than ours right now, I would say. Now it's hard because they lost Paul George, but I mean, you look at what Paul George is doing, I'm not sure that Paul George changes their team that much. So they got the long defenders, they got steals, man. They got Chris Dunn, they got Derrick Jones Jr. And then, you know, they add them to a great group of role players, in my opinion. And you got Norman Powell, who's kind of like the ultimate scoring role player. And it's like the Clippers are no joke, and they're built better than us. Now, I still think we're going to win. And, you know, obviously that's what I want. But it's not an easy game. Like, it's close to a 50-50 type of game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we got a comment from Bashful Goon. Shout out to Bashful Goon, nickname. Norman Powell was this good with I'll say Paul George, but I knew which I'm looking around about. Gone, his role expanded even more. He was that thing that glued that roster there these last 2 years. Yeah, like they said, Norman Powell is a great role player. Like, I mean, as a UCLA fan, I grew up and saw Norman Powell playing, and he was great. And it's just like, to see him get drafted in the second round, I was shocked. I easily thought he was a first rounder, in my opinion. And when he went to Toronto, that was a steal. And he developed, played with a contender, and then obviously got traded to a couple teams, and then landed with the Clippers, and then expanded his role and became a solid player who the Lakers can't mess around. Like I don't know who be ideally defending him. Like, it could be Austin Reaves tonight. Like, I don't know, like who would you guys put Norman Powell on, or from the Lakers side, put it on Norman Powell?
Well, I mean, like with the starters, it's got to be like Max Christie, because he's actually got the length and, you know, kind of the fundamentals to keep up with him a little. I do still think Norman Powell will torch whoever, but I think there's a really great call out here. I know you were talking about UCLA, Alan. How about the fact that Norman Powell, and I think who the other guy at the time was, like Robert Covington, like they were chilling on the Blazers, and reports came out that those two were traded to the Clippers. And it was for the most bullshit package. I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. Covington was still good back then, mind you. The Clippers got Covington and Powell and got off people and gave up nothing. And then I think down the line, it was reported like the Blazers GM was trying to do a favor for the Clippers. And it was just kind of like, how is that like a thing that happens when we find ourselves in the opposite position? No one's doing a favor for the Lakers, but a favor gifting the Clippers someone who can average 24 points per game, plus Covington at that time, who was good. What are you doing? They didn't get anything back. We got to find that trade because that's how we got here. That's how we got to this current Clippers team, because Bashful was right. Like, I think it was him who said in the chat, like, Norman Powell has been like basically the glue of this Clippers team for a couple years now, and didn't really get the credit until you see how much he can still score with what's his name out, Paul George out.
Yeah, at least for Mal, you can hop on. Feel free to request, and then we'll get you on.
Yo, can you guys hear me? Everyone hear me? All good. All right. How's everyone doing today? First and foremost, good. My question for you guys is, and you guys have kind of talked around this, like not directly answered this question, but Jake just mentioned like, Portland kind of doing the Clippers a favor. My question to you guys is, because this like the parts of basketball that I love to focus on, it's not necessarily the trade and the GM aspects. I've never looked into this, but it sparks my mind. I want to ask you guys, do teams build relationships with teams by doing favors like this? Like, could we see a trade in the future with Portland, or are the Clippers going to do Portland a favor in the future? And I just want to ask, like, is this common in sports or really basketball for teams to honestly take one for the team and then to repay them later in the future? Build establishment relationships. Does this happen? That's really the question.
100%. Like, I'll just go quickly there and let them go, Mal. I think that's a great question. I think it could happen in all team sports, but really think about who it's between. We're talking the Clippers and the Blazers, who have absolutely zero history. Different, same conference, obviously, of 15 teams, but different division. There's no reason to like not kind of make an alliance on a move. But when you say, can the Clippers do them a favor later? Sure. But at the same time, like, we've passed a few years now, and that makes me think it's probably not on the top of their heads. I'm pretty sure the Trailblazers have even changed either their front office or ownership within this time. So it feels unlikely that it's like a one-to-one thing. But yeah, I do think, Alan, you can go ahead with that. I do. Oh, the Rams scored here now, so they're going to have maybe one more chance. We'll see. Yes, Mal, I think Alan said it pretty well. I do think the Lakers and Wizards had an arrangement, and it's not because of the Rui trade, Alan. The reason for me is because when the Lakers traded for AD and they wanted to sign Kawhi Leonard, the Lakers and Wizards made a deal to send Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga, and I think someone else like Jamario or something like that at the time to the Wizards.
Jamario Jones.
Yes, you got it. Jamario Jones to the Wizards. And what that did was it gave us just enough money to sign a third max player. And I do think the Lakers, Rob had a relationship with the former GM. I think they've changed GMs as well.
Yeah, like Jake mentioned, it's just like the Wizards and Lakers have constant communications. I know these from seeing the Lakers and Magic had communication because obviously we bought a pick from them. Buying picks is not like an easy, hey, we're interested in that pick. Obviously that team wants compensation. They want a certain amount of money. So it's just like, I know that we always make fun of Rob Pelinka, but he does make connections here and there. And I like we said, he does do full favors for our GMs. And of course, those GMs do pay some other favors to Lakers. So, like I said, yeah, favors are obviously a really real thing in the NBA, as much as any other sport around USA or even Europe.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think it's just like one of those things. Like, you always want to have your go-to person. Like, hey, I need something done. If I do this for you now, maybe it can help work out a deal in the future I'm not even thinking about. So I definitely think there's definitely there's GMs who have closer relationships and who are more willing to maybe take a loss on side, but not even a loss. Maybe I'll call it more like a future investment in order to work something out bigger in the future. So that's a great question too, by the way, Mal.
Yeah, and before to go to our little debate about who is the current better Lakers duo, any predictions for tonight? Lakers Clippers score predictions or these hot takes from that game? And feel free, of course, to chat to contribute as well.
I will say, like, if the Lakers win, we're looking at a 1 to 3 point game, in my opinion. A lot of the Lakers Clippers games are close, especially if we're going to win. So I can't make an exact score prediction, but I do think Norman Powell will have like 30. I also think like Austin Reaves had 38. I think he's going to get close to 30, 10, and 10 tonight. Austin Reaves, I'm pretty sure, had his first triple-double and first 30-point game. Or maybe it was just close to triple-double, but it was against the Clippers at the end of either his, I think it was his first season. And it was him. It was the dude, Mac McClung dude. They were going crazy against the Clippers. Oh, no, it was Zach Norvell, maybe. Something like that. Like, Austin Reaves is going to go off tonight for sure.
I agree. I think Austin Reaves is going to have a good game tonight. But there's one man on this roster who I'm going to back tonight. I got Gabe Vincent scoring 17 plus tonight. I don't know what it is. Gabe's been playing a new brand of basketball. The only thing I don't like, Gabe, do not take any moving, fading, off the dribble threes, standing, catch, and shoot threes only. If you're going to take some type of moving or pull up, mid-range only. Do not take those fake threes. That's not you. You're not built like that. So I got Gabe Vincent for 17 plus. As long as he plays efficient, I think he's been a plus throughout this stretch of basketball for us. Defense has been better. Playmaking is all right, but I mean, it's Gabe Vincent. But as far as scoring, he's been a really decent mid-range scorer for us. And that three ball is finally hitting a lot more consistently. So that's my prediction. AD, I'm assuming, will play tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna need about 35. AD. Now AD. If Austin Reaves can go out there on a casual day and go get me 38, there's no reason you can't get me 35 and 15, respectfully. I need to see the boards coming back. I need 35, 15. I know it's first game back, but I really don't care. And I need at least 2 blocks and a steal. So that's my stat predictions. 35, 15, 2 blocks and a steal for AD. Gabe Vincent, I got 17 plus tonight. Everybody else, just do your part, lock in. And I think Austin Reaves definitely could have another good game versus the Clippers tonight. And Bron, I don't give prediction on Bron because Bron is Bron, respectfully.
Yeah, from what I've seen from the Clippers, for as of course, Caden mentioned, Powell, Zubac, and Harden are questionable. From last what I seen from Twitter, Chris Dunn is also questionable with left knee soreness. For LeBron James, he is probable for tonight. He's per the injury report. But I do imagine he probably plays tonight, but he rests versus the Washington Wizards, who the Lakers play on Tuesday. So yeah, I think LeBron James will play tonight and then get some rest versus Washington, and then play Thursday versus the Celtics. So yeah, excited to see around that. My quick hot take will be our big three: Austin, LeBron, and AD. I imagine, like I said, AD and LeBron play will combine for 60 plus points. And we're gonna get the Lakers win by 7 points tonight versus the Clippers. So, and it'll be a great game, but we'll take over in that fourth quarter, and then obviously we'll get the Clippers a couple points. But yeah, I think I'll go with the 7-point victory for this one.
And now the Los Angeles Rams, mentioned by Earl in the chat. Another update. Sorry that this is all during this, but for football fans, the Rams are getting the ball back as the Eagles just punted to them. And the Rams actually have the ball does go all the way to the 20, almost 15 here. But the Rams have a favorable score of 22 to 28, because if they can score, that extra point brings you over the top. You don't need to go for 2 or anything. So we'll keep you updated on that. But we're looking at 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and it looks like no Rams timeouts and 3 timeouts for the Eagles. The Rams are down 6.
That's why you always keep a soccer player on. You never know when you need those 3 points to come back for you, baby.
Yeah, like I said, shout out to everybody who was listening chat or with us. Of course, watching the Rams game as well. We appreciate your support. As always, stay tuned tonight. for Lakers versus Clippers on this playback stream, PlayoffLAL. Join this community if you're if you're a visitor or if you're a new person wanting to see this app or at least watch out Laker games for free. So yeah, going to our quick debate for this one is talking about the Lakers' best duo, and for this one, is it LeBron and Austin Reaves or is it AD and LeBron? Austin often say that I feel that it's Austin and LeBron. I think those two are carrying the Lakers. I know that AD does his thing. He does impactful on both ends of the floor, but scoring wise, I just feel Austin Reaves and LeBron James have been really helping the Lakers, where it be facilitating them to wins or at least keeping them at least close towards a Lakers close victory, you could say, hopefully.
Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, I was letting you go. Normally you go first, but today we're in opposite order, so I felt bad. So here's the thing, man. Like, great question that Alan you've been talking about and pondering and all that, but it's really hard when you see like the defense with and without AD to not put AD in a category. On the other hand, like, I'm so fucking disappointed, like, excuse my language, in AD. Like, I've been saying it now, and now it feels like it keeps going because it's like, it's not about like that he doesn't play. I'm not criticizing his injuries. I think him getting a game off the last game is fine. He's played most of the games. It's just more like when he's there, he's the right word to use is lethargic. He's lethargic a lot of the time. He plays like he's tired. He plays like he's just going through the motions. And even doing so, he can get 20 points, 12 rebounds or whatever. Great. The other part of that, though, is like your game is so advanced and you're at the proper age where you should be getting 40 points and 20 rebounds like every game. That sounds crazy, but like between 20 and 40 points, 20 rebounds every game. And it's like, I agree with those words Mal said. I think you meant dormant, stagnant, like words like that, because it's like you're that talented, but it doesn't show up. It shows up a little in the box score, but as viewers, like the eye test on AD, frankly, is really bad since the first, 2 weeks of the season where he started off, kind of in the MVP race, the early MVP race. So I think like on offense, it's insane to say this, but like Austin and LeBron are the two best that I can trust game by game, especially if we're talking regular season, like right now. Like if we play the Brooklyn Nets and AD plays the other game, of course, like it goes better because of AD's defense. But on offense, I'm trusting Austin more than AD. What is AD going to do for me? When is the energy going to come up? When is the kind of the talent going to come out? And like, can he find a way to be consistent? I don't feel like he's a consistent number one or number two option for the Lakers. And Austin being the number three option by design, he's, excelling in that role. So even when he goes to the number two option, he shows up for me. So I would say, the Eagles almost got a pick on the Rams there, Earl. I know you saw that. I would say I do think Austin and LeBron are the two people getting us through these games in the regular season. But I don't want to discredit like the defense of AD. I still have hope for AD. I just I'm not a fan of his mentality personally. And it would be hard. I've said this for years. I've kind of been on and off because I tried really hard to support him. But I told people when Russ was here, and obviously that was so frustrating. I was like, I still don't love AD. And, he missed a lot of that first season or whatever. And I feel bad for him with the injuries, like I said. I just don't want to go into a future that is AD and another star, and especially if that star is worse than AD. It's just not – it didn't happen, dude. Every time we think he overtook LeBron as 1A on the Lakers, he proves us wrong year over year over year with LeBron still on the team. Holy Puka Nacua just made one of the craziest catches in the snow. We're all trying to figure out this football game too. But yes, Mal just said it in the chat to sum it up. If you have AD, you need SGA. That's where we're at right now. I'm saying in a post-LeBron world. I'm sorry. So, yes, give me LeBron and Reaves as two people I trust for the regular season.
All right. This is my thoughts. It should be AD and LeBron, but the problem I have with LeBron James, I'm not LeBron, I'm sorry. The problem I have with Anthony Davis is he's unsure about his offensive set. Like his go-to moves, that little post hook he does, his mid-range, his three-point shot. I just don't know if he doesn't have a consistent go-to anymore. Like when he gets inconsistent, he has to have a move that he can just go to and score easily. I mean, we've seen the last game he played, he missed like 3 or 4 easy layups under the goal. So I don't know if that's confidence. I don't know if that's just inconsistencies. I don't know what it is. But when you look at Austin Reaves and LeBron James, they're able to get to their spots and score easily. LeBron James, he can just go downhill, score on the drive. Austin Reaves, he'll hit you with the pull-up mid-range, or he'll go a little bit to that little Euro step layup. Like he has like an offensive bag he can consistently get to. Reaves, he can draw fouls. Braun, the same thing. Braun, if his drive isn't working, he'll go and shoot a 3. Anthony Davis, I just feel like his offense is just so inconsistent. He doesn't have something he can consistently go to and guarantee himself a bucket. So I think that's the biggest thing. It should be. It's Anthony Davis's fault that we're having this conversation. Like anybody, if you look anywhere in the NBA, everybody should be saying it's LeBron James and AD. But the fact that Austin Reaves and Bron just work so well together in their offense when they're both going hot, it's almost impossible to stop. You have to have these type of conversations. So with that being said, I still think it's LeBron and AD because that defense, I can't overlook the defense. Our team is horrible at defense. Besides like 3 players, well, maybe 3. Yeah, 1, 2, maybe like 3 or 4 players who can play defense. Austin Reaves, he has a lot of effort. He can get there, but consistent defender, it's definitely Anthony Davis. So for that reason, he'll still give me around 20, even though it's a inefficient 20 at times minimum. It feels like for the most part, I still have to take Anthony Davis as that duo for me.
The Rams are down to their final play, 4th and 11. Stafford got sacked. I want to say it was Jalen Carter. That's a dog-on-dog crime, if you know what I mean. Shout out UGA. Eagles it was Jalen Carter. Eagles have a lot of players. So hold on. Let's sit on this for a second. We're at 30 seconds left. Rams down 6. The last play of the Rams season, potentially. Stafford throws it incomplete looking for Puka Nacua, and that will be the game. Eagles are going to the NFC Championship to play the Commanders. I would love to see the Commanders win, but that's crazy. Yeah, the guy Dotson on the O-line on the Rams did have a big false start. Stafford, he made passes, man. Stafford, it's not like he didn't make passes. Stafford made passes. That last pass, sure, but besides that. So, kind of a classic game here. The Rams going to Philadelphia. Snowing. Philly wins. If Philly beats Washington, yeah, we are looking at Allen. Ravens, Eagles, not a bad pick. We'll see what happens today. Could easily be Chiefs, Eagles, but we're looking at some classic matchups here, whether it's Chiefs, Ravens, like I said, Chiefs, Bills. Then you go to the Super Bowl, and it's like, probably Eagles, Chiefs, or Eagles, Ravens, whatever it is. We got some good games of football left.
Yeah, shout out to Carter, bro.
Yeah.
Dog.
We also have a quick question from, let me look at it. He says, you ever think Reaves takes that leap? I know that I answered it in down chat. I don't know if Earl answered chat, but feel free to answer that question as well, Jake.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing with Austin Reaves. Like, he's a great player. He's the 3rd or 4th option on championship teams, and that's fantastic. I would be shocked. I love him. I would be shocked if Reaves ever ended up an all-star for real. Like, maybe Lakers fans vote him close, if there's no LeBron. So my thing is, like, he's a 20-point per game scorer. But Norman Powell is also an over 20-point per game scorer, especially when he has opportunity, right? So it's not like you would say Norman Powell's an all-star. He is close this year without PG. But my point is kind of like the rest of Norman Powell's career. There's no leap for Austin Reaves to become a 26 point per game, like kind of superstar that plays defense. It's just not happening. But what he is, he's still a great thing. He's still a 20 point per game guy if needed kind of deal. He may get 16 to 18 on a championship team. He already took a leap. I do think he kind of took a leap this year, though. So I am going to disagree a little with Mal because the playmaking looks a little different now and more polished. And then the scoring is a little higher. So I do think he took like a very small leap going into this year. And I think, he's going to have a chance to compete, especially if he plays on other teams, if we kind of rebuild. But he's not the guy you can rebuild around and say he's going to be first team all NBA. He'll never make an all NBA team, but he's going to be a good NBA player for at least 10 more years.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think the thing is, like, this is good. Like, even if he doesn't progress past this, and this is just his new floor for the next, 4 or 5 plus years, I mean, it's great. We're talking about 18.5 point per game score, 6.1 assists per game, 4.3 rebounds, shooting around 36%. I always think his 3-point shot can improve slightly. I think that can still go up as he continues to get better. But yeah, I think this version of Austin Reaves is good. I don't know if he'll ever take that all-star jump. I don't think I see it, but I think that's okay, if that makes sense. But yeah, I still think we got to he progressed into something way better than what people thought he could have, like looking at his rookie year. I mean, went from 7 points per game, which is really not even that bad as a rookie, all the way up to 18.5. So I can't get mad at that. Shout out to Reaves.
I said I put down a poll right there for a better current Lakers duo. And we'll go into our last segment for this one. Got around 15 minutes left for this podcast before, of course, Ravens versus Bills. As always, like I said, tune into the spaces, at least tonight, hosted by Clutch_23. Oh, actually press reset. So as we do that one, at least Earl, plug the space for that Lakers Clippers preview.
What are we talking about? The space? You said the space?
Yeah, give like a preview. So,
Yeah, sorry, you're cutting a little in and out for me. I think for that space, what we've been doing recently for the Lakers fans in here, we go on X. We do a little bit of a Lakers pregame space. It's a good time. It's on like Clutch23's profile. He's got a great Lakers account. He's definitely with us. We're adding a lot of people to our Lakers family here. Like, I'll drop in the chat. Earl just sent a link to the space, by the way. You can join this about 45 minutes before, and then we come over to playback. But I'll drop a list of kind of where we're at right now with our team, who we have, because we have a lot of really, really great Lakers creators we've added to this family. So for PlayoffLAL specifically, we're going to keep getting more and more people. But like a lot of people online, let's just call a spade a spade. Like there's a lot of people online who've heard of me a lot more than Earl, for example. And because I had like a big troll account, I've had a bunch of other accounts at times. Like people knew who I was on X. But Earl is one of the best Lakers creators that I've ever interacted with. Like he's better than the people in Coach's Den. He's better than the people in my opinion, like he's up there with like a Trevor Lane type of Lakers fan, right? But the thing is just because his Twitter account isn't big, like you might not know who he is from X, but you're gonna know. Like eventually you're gonna know about my man Earl. So if you come over here, we may not have everyone with the biggest X account, but everyone is really quality. So like even though Mark has a big X account, he's really quality. And we have Mao. And doing great things. Like, no one knew who Allen was from Twitter, but Allen does such a fantastic job on a Lakers podcast and Lakers live stream. And we keep adding more and more people who are great. With Lakers Land, we mentioned earlier, certainly Lake Show Go becoming a big part of the team recently. Caden, people knew him under True Takes a little bit on X, but just a very, very quality sports fan, great at breaking everything down, great with numbers. So I just feel like the group we have over here in general on this stream is really going to work because everyone is so quality and we all get along so great. And we continue to make, great Lakers content here for you guys. So, as people continue to discover the room, we found that they stayed and they really liked what was going on here and they come back every time. So we're going to keep doing that. And we promise to everyone in here who watches this podcast, it's only going to grow. And I do think one day they'll look back and be like, Earl and Allen started a very well-known, very high-regarded podcast called Quest for 18. And that's where we're going to be at. Bash Lagoon, we're going to be there. I'm telling you, we're going to be there. We'll see. We're going to be there. I'm telling you, these guys are good at what they do.
Shout out to the GOAT, Jake. Jake and Caden really set everything up for us, man. We all came together as Lakers fans who wanted to talk basketball. It's as simple as that. Regardless of what people think, regardless of how people feel, we know what type of group we built together. The vibes are there. The content is there. Everybody knows what they're talking about. And we all bring something different to the table. I mean, we're different ages. We have different interests outside of Lakers, but all the same, we have the best chemistry in the world. So I really respect what we've been growing over these last couple of months. And yeah, time will tell. People will see. Like, we got such a diverse group on this whole network. Like, we got Lakers, we got Celtics, we got Kings now. We got Orlando Magic as well, and the big stuff. Shout out to Kara as well. I'll drop a video in the chat too. Speaking of, she did a really, really great interview today. I'll put in the chat. You guys have to check it out on YouTube. But yeah, we're all doing great things. So if you want to be a part of this network, join the room, follow all of our channels. We'll put the link tree in the chat as well. But I mean, as Mal, shout out to Mal as well. He's a big part of it. He takes care of a lot of business or streams and stuff like that and just creating content. But the price is up, man. This is where you can get in. And by price, I don't even mean monetary. I just mean like the price as far as just like booking it. You were here early. The price is up. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Jake, Caden, everybody for stepping in and creating this network. But yeah, it's always fun. Make sure you join our spaces. Mark does a really good job. And in the chat, man, everybody say good luck to Mark. He's been practicing. He's been studying hard for his huge school test coming up. I'm really rooting for you, bro. I know you're going to kill it. So he's been kind of doing that a lot. And yeah, he will still host our space tonight. And make sure you follow Clutch on Twitter. I put it in the chat. I'll pin it too. That's where the space will take place. But yeah, can't wait for everything to continue to grow. I love it here, and we're not going nowhere, baby. Playoff Sports Network will take over the whole entire app. Every time you load in the future, it will literally be playoff. We'll be on the recommendation thing. We'll be on the, I forget what it's called, the showcase. We'll be on that every single time. So we're locked in.
Yeah, locked in indeed. Thank you, Earl and Jake, for the plugins. As I was saying this up. But yeah, like I said, this is our tier list for this week. Lakers tier list roster, S, A, B, C, D, injured or limited minutes. I just put some quick names as players in it. I put Mando, Christian Wood, and Cam Reddish. Of course, South Bay Lakers, Bronny, Christian Coloco, Arma Troy, and JHS. He's always going to stay there, man. I did not see JHS ever be on the court. It's over. And then, of course, a little Jackson Hayes tier for Jackson Hayes. So, of course, it will be quick, short podcast. I'll start off with Austin Reaves, S tier.
Yep, no arguments here. S tier. I mean, he took over and we needed him. Even though he didn't miss those shots, we talked about his floor, really. Nowadays, his floor is looking like A. So anytime he does something abnormal, career high in points, he's probably going to move up.
Go, Earl, go. It's your turn, bro.
Oh, my bad. I'll go Anthony Davis injured, right? Wait, how many games did we play this week? Was it 1 or 2? Sorry,
It
I
was
forgot.
Nets and what? Heat was this week. What else? Bro,
Okay,
we
maybe those
played
are the 2
3
games.
games, bro. At least.
Did we actually?
I think.
Dang, I can't remember. That's bad.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm forgetting.
Since the
It
last
must have been
one,
Heat.
last podcast, we played against the Spurs, Heat, and Nets. So we lost to the Spurs, beat the Heat, and of course beat Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And AD only
2-1.
played 2 of
2-1.
those games, right? 2 of those games.
Spurs
What did he do in
and
the Heat game?
AD, you're saying? I'll look it up.
Yeah, what did he do? Like, okay, before we get to there, I'll go Gabe Vincent. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go B+ tier for Gabe Vincent. I think he's been playing great basketball recently. I still think he could take a step better. I will not put him on A+ yet until he stops taking those weird fadeaway threes at the worst possible times in the game. So that's my grade for Gabe.
Yeah, sure. I'm with you, Earl. I'll say, it's so hard with AD. I'm gonna go. I don't want it to be like we think AD's worse than Gabe Vincent, but like AD compared to AD, bro, I'm going C again. I think we did C last week. Unless we want to go, if he was injured 2 of those games, we could just slide him in injured. Was he injured 2 of those games or just against Brooklyn though? I thought he played. I mean, he played against the Heat. I don't know if. Let me see if he played against the Spurs right here.
Yeah, he played the Spurs. He got 30 points
did have
and
30
13 rebounds.
there. All right. I either go like top of C or B, lower B for AD. I don't think we should put him in injured if he was injured 1 out of 3 games. All right, but I'll kind of rely on you guys.
I'm with the C. Let's get some opinions from the chat. Shout out to Bashel and Mal. Dalton Connect in the C category. Now, the question is, where in the C? Is it below 80? I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he's lower than AD for sure. Earl, go. You got it. Oh, sorry.
All right, my bad.
Chat.
Yeah. Next
Talk
up,
about that
I'm
for
going
a
to
second.
go.
Talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go talk about this, of course. Shout out to Carol once again. She did a really cool interview with UCF senior guard Darius Johnson. It is on X right now, so not X, it's on YouTube right now. Make sure you not only subscribe but watch it really all the way through. It's a really good interview. Well done. Good content and first of many, of course. So make sure you guys like the content. Like Jake said, we're all creating unique content here, and this is an example of the talent we have on board. But also, I am picking. Should I go Rui Hachimura? Let's go Rui Hachimura. I'm gonna go B tier. He had one game, I believe it was a double-double, if I'm not mistaken, or it was close. He had like 7 something plus rebounds or something like that. We always talk about if he's getting rebounds, doing something other than scoring, I'll move him up a little bit. But so far, I mean, it's Rui. He's there for scoring. If he does a little bit more, I'm down to move him up.
Yeah, I think he gets a lot of hate from Lakers fans. I think he kind of does his job though at the same time. Like if you expect great defense or great rebounding, you're kind of going to be disappointed here, but I felt like he had a pretty decent week. I'm good with B. I actually think lower than Gabe for what they actually are. But yeah, Rui is kind of a consistent presence for us, and he could always knock down some threes. So I'll be positive and say B. And then I guess I'll go again. Oh, sorry, Alan. What are you saying? Or you were just saying?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Bottom of B.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we only have 3 people left. Are we missing people, Alan? I'm confused. Like, I guess Dorian didn't really play. Shake.
I keep forgetting. I mean, Shake didn't play that much. I think
Yeah, he
only
barely
Trey
did.
Jemison would be only guys, but I
Trey,
put Trey at D. I think I put Trey at D anyway. So Jemison.
Trey went out there. He did, I guess, he played backup center. That's all we can say. He did do that for one game. We'll see what happens with Trey. We can add him next week. We can add Shake and Dorian back. Weird week for both of them, you could say. I'll take Max Christie and go. Shoot, I don't know if he was as good this week as he was. Like, maybe I'm just a casual because I need to really think about what he did this week. He had 10-1-1 against the Spurs. And then what else did he have? I don't know. I mean, you guys can totally feel free to step in. I don't think he was as good this week. He did have 16 points, 3 rebounds against the Heat. And then the last game against the Nets. Where are we?
He played horrible on offense. I forgot that last game.
Yeah, he had 7, 3, and 3, missed most of the shots. I think for Max, I would say B, just because his importance, his defense. I wouldn't say it was an A week for Max, though.
I agree. Simply because, and it's not even that he took bad shots. They just weren't falling. And when he's playing defense, I mean, I'm okay with him staying on B. So I'm cool with that too.
I put him B as well. But the question is he above Rui? We got sprinkled a couple points because he did guard D'Lo in that final position that made him miss. So we put him ahead of Rui or behind Rui?
I think ahead of Rui because defense is half of basketball to me. But,
Yeah, I'm down for ahead. I'm good with that.
We'll go with JJ Redick. I'll go with B. Probably ahead of Gabe. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, he did all right. Okay.
And then we'll finish up with LeBron James. So, what's the consensus on LeBron?
Bron.
Man, I would say A makes a lot of sense for Bron. It's also hard not to argue S at a lot of times for Bron. One of those two is the answer. Again, I cannot say this enough. This does not mean we think Austin Reaves is better than LeBron if LeBron's below. Yep. It's 1 week compared to themselves. So if LeBron, Goon kind of has it right. Unless you had a outstanding week, you shouldn't really be an S, I would say. I would say A for LeBron. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm thinking A too. I agree. Bash is right. We usually reserve S for if you did something crazy. First time I think Austin Reaves got an S or really high is when he got a triple-double for the first time this season. This week he had his career high in points. LeBron James, now don't get me wrong, LeBron James goes out there and drops a 35-point triple-double 2 times in a week. I mean, of course he's going to be an S. So I'm cool with that. I think A is good. A is great.
Yeah. That was our tier list for this week. Of course, we'll add a couple players after to this one. What you got on Twitter/X. Follow us at Quest18Pod. That was our Twitter for that one. And yeah, we completed a podcast 1 hour, 3:30 on time. So yeah, as always, thank you all for joining. Like I said, join the space hosted by Clutch_23 on Twitter. He'll be hosting, of course, with our couple hosts here, previewing Lakers versus Clippers. And after that, join back here on Playback. We're hosting Lakers versus Clippers. And as always, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the incredible game that will be happening, Bills versus Ravens. And as always, go Lakers. Peace, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.